I try not to think too much about it. We have more than enough to occupy ourselves here. Those people are the last remnants of a dying past. It's best not to dwell on the subject. Well, that's a question best left to our colleagues in the robotics division. Not yet. I've been reviewing Father's plans to expand our operations at Warwick. He's eager to get that going, so I've had to put everything else to one side. I won't try to hide my disappointment about what happened at Warwick Homestead. It's great to have you here. Dr. Carlin's doing some amazing things with our genetically engineered crops. The latest synth generation is just amazing. Those guys in robotics are working miracles. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether you'll join us? Dr. Clayton Holdren, head of the Bioscience Division. I can't wait for you to see the work we're doing. It's truly amazing. I was just about to explain that. Well, I'm sure you'll do your best to get back on schedule. I see. Well, our schedule is important, so I trust you'll make it a priority. Did you add those new strains of tricanthos we discovered to the database? Isaac, have you had a chance to run the alkalinity test on last week's soil sample from Warwick? Hi there, Dean. How's it going? How are things with you, Dean? Of course, I completely understand. Before you go, at least let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. I promise I'll keep it short. Great. I was hoping you'd say that. In that case, let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. You're past deadline on the report for batch 3761. What's the holdup? I was expecting the growth rate metrics yesterday. Have you even written that up yet? It's a big decision, I know. But it's also a rare and important opportunity. No need to rush to judgment. It's all right. No hurry. Good man. Good man. We'd be lost without you, Isaac. Welcome. So good to have you here. Just let me know when that other time is. I knew you'd be the right man for the job. I knew you'd be the right woman for the job. Director, good. I'm glad you're here. I'm hoping you can assist me with an experiment. I could use some more tissue samples if you have time to collect them. I suppose that's a fair request. I was going to take these over to the SRB, but here, you take them. You face at least as much danger as any of our coursers. If this experiment is a success, it could bolster our food supply by as much as 3%. I'd call that pretty rewarding. Huh, you are persistent, aren't you? Here, take these. That's all I have for now. Well, I suppose you'll just cut off some of its flesh, store it however you like, and then bring it to me. Probably best if you kill it first. Excellent! I've made real progress thanks to your help. I'll take that from you. Yes, this will do nicely. I hope those super mutants didn't give you too much trouble. We're not fighters, we're scientists. We'd be no match for one of those creatures. I know it's a lot to ask, but please at least consider it. You might well be the only one here who can do this job. For someone as brave and skillful as yourself, I'm sure it will be a trifle. I'll be grateful if you do. Well, if this experiment bears fruit, the risk will have been worth it. It might be necessary to gather more samples, so check back with me later if you can. Again, thanks for your help. I couldn't do this without you. I believe we can improve the growth rates of our crops by using mutated cells, such as those found in supermutants. To test this theory, I'll need a tissue sample from a particularly strong supermutant. I expect I'll eventually need several such samples, but let's just start with one. Now remember, only a particularly hardy supermutant will fit the bill for this experiment. I don't need it right away, but if you do come across such a specimen, I'd be grateful if you could bring back a sample. So will you do it? Not at the moment. No. Thank you again for this. That's right. Supermutants can be pretty dangerous, so take whatever precautions you need to. Remember, you're looking for a supermutant that's tougher and stronger than the average one. I hate to send you into harm's way, but in this case, there's no other way around it. Are you free to go hunting for another supermutant tissue sample? In that case, you'll want to introduce yourself to Dr. Dean Volkert. He's our top biologist and also serves as the Institute's resident physician. Dr. Volkert works in the infirmary. Just pay him a visit whenever you need to. You won't find better medical care anywhere else in the Commonwealth. I'll promise you that. Good to see you again. Did you need something? Take care then. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Even if science isn't your passion, There are plenty of ways to contribute. Our projects sometimes require an agent who can work on the surface to observe and gather information. From what I've heard, you are both fearless and resourceful. I think you'd be ideal for that kind of role. There might be. Tell you what, you get settled in and check back with me later. I'll see what I can find out. On the whole, I'd say they were a success. Their behavior does generally match what our historical data says it should be. Unfortunately, we had a few early setbacks. The creatures can become suddenly aggressive, and they're quite strong. They destroyed 2 of their synth handlers. So now we keep them in an isolated habitat where they can be safely observed. I'm glad you're here. I'd like to conduct an experiment, but I need some assistance with it. Father was a great man, and he will certainly be missed. Father was a great man, and he will certainly be missed. This feels like the dawn of a new era. Don't forget to speak to Dr. Carlin about that errand. Dr. Carlin needs your help with something. You should speak to him. Thanks for running those seeds up to Warwick Homestead. Our synth at Warwick sent his first report. Thanks for taking care of that. They are indeed. Judging by your reaction, we've done a good job making them seem lifelike. The initiative is still in its early stages, but the prospects are very exciting. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless. With hard work and ingenuity, any challenge can be overcome. It's just my opinion, of course, but I don't believe that every discovery needs to be useful. Sometimes we innovate for no other reason than to learn what's possible. Oh, well, thank you, sir. Isaac and Dean did a great deal of work over the last few months. I'll let them know you're pleased with the result. Speaking only for myself, I find them fascinating. Of course, I might be a little biased. I think Dr. Carlin was looking for help with one of his experiments. You should talk to him. Not at the moment, but thanks for asking. This feels like the dawn of a new era. Father was a great man, and he will certainly be missed. Now's not really a good time. All the same, I'd like to see it. We could still learn something. Something I can do for you? Anything I can help you with? I would love to see that big airship fly off over the horizon, but it's not going to happen. The conflict is already upon us. Unless we end it now, it's only going to get worse. I don't think anyone really intended that as a course of action. Yes, but it's not just that. With the reactor now online, we have the ability to not only expand synth production, but to project power to a much greater degree. Frankly, they don't. The surface is still too dangerous for life to truly thrive. That's why what we do here is so important. I don't know that this is the time. Oh, boy. That Warwick situation was a real mess. You're not exactly off to a great start here. I hope you have learned something from what happened at Warwick. That was a costly mistake. Humanity's future is taking root right here. We're making real progress, thanks to you. Now that the reactor's online, perhaps it's time to think about expanding bioscience. I have every confidence you'll make a fine director. I couldn't be more pleased with Father's choice for a new director. Congratulations. To bring you up to speed, obviously there are groups in the Commonwealth that stand in opposition to the Institute's goals. True, but I don't think we should stop there. The Directorate has agreed that steps must be taken to ensure our safety in the long run. Well, normally the Directorate reviews and approves research tracks for the various divisions. Today, however, we're here for a different reason. Well, yes, the retrieval team supposedly arrived with the surface sample. What state is it in?